Top dog in the league, homie. Let's speak on it. This a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. We don't kick it, I don't even go for three on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered. D's corner, like, yeah.
Welcome back to D's Corner. This is D. Over the weekend, we had some Hall of Famer news with the Baltimore Ravens releasing future Hall of Famer Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas, who got in a fight with former 6th-round pick Chuck Clark, which is odd because it's another safety. Usually you don't see this happening at training camps. People in the same position fighting just normally doesn't happen. But since then, there's been multiple reports coming out from their leadership council that a lot of people did not or were not fans of Earl or did not like Earl. They said that he kind of freelanced, and even though last year they went 14-2, if you look at a lot of the busted plays that was coming from Earl Thomas freelancing, back when he was with Seattle, they ran a cover 3. He was just a single high safety at all times. Freelancing works if you're a safety that communicates. Earl said he did not communicate a lot because 9 years of his career he was in Seattle, where there was no need for communication, as their opponents knew what was being run. Everyone knew they were running a cover 3. Everyone knew Cam was going to be more in the box. Everyone knew Earl was going to be over top. They just had better athletes than you. They had better players than you, and they just lined up and beat you. But in Baltimore, it's odd because Earl was basically the next best safety, free safety at that, since Ed Reed retired. And Ed Reed was one of the best freelancers in the game, him and Troy Polamalu. But the thing that made the defenses that they were on so great was the communication. And when they made freelance decisions, they were right majority of the time. Earl would blitz when he wasn't supposed to, go here when he should have went there, and apparently his teammates have had enough of it. During the offseason, like everyone else who's had a ridiculous 2020, Earl was in a situation with his wife or significant other where they got into it about him drinking. He then left with his brother. His wife searched his Snapchat account, was able to find his location, where she pulled a gun on him after removing the clip, but not knowing that she had one in the chamber. And in that situation, instead of Earl just kind of accepting responsibility for his actions and what caused the situation, he asked that everyone just basically stay out of his business. Well, it's come out now that that situation was not made aware to the Baltimore Ravens until it already hit the news, which, if you know the Baltimore Ravens, they are one of the classier organizations. Yes, they did have the Ray Rice issue, but since the Ray Rice issue, they have had minimal issues, and I'm sure they have issues. They just do a great job of keeping it in-house, which is what all the good franchises do. There's just heated arguments over Earl Thomas saying he's either missing walkthroughs or coming in late. He's not being focused, which is something you don't see out of a 10-year vet, future Hall of Famer, and probably still, even though he's not in his prime anymore and he's kind of lost his step, he's still probably the top 3 at the least free safeties in the game anyways. So there's been a lot of speculation about where he'll go, what teams could pick him up. I honestly held off on making this video expecting him to be signed by today. Like everyone else, I assume that the Dallas Cowboys will take a chance on him, not only for the fact of his talent, but for the fact of they probably feel like they don't have to pay him a boatload of money. He was scheduled to make $10 million this year. Baltimore's trying to recoup that for releasing him for conduct detrimental to the team. Maybe the Cowboys get him to take a similar deal that Cam Newton took in New England. Everyone knows that Earl wants to be there, from the infamous "come get me" situation where he ran up on Jason Garrett, told him to come get him when he left Seattle. The Cowboys just cleared some space by restructuring Tyron Smith's deal. They released Gerald McCoy. I actually believe they have about $10 million. They may be able to get Earl for 2, maybe get Earl for 5 if he really wants to be there in Dallas. After the Players Council, I expected a lot of teams to be interested in Earl, but I expected a lot of teams to move diligently doing the needed homework, because there's something going on when a future Hall of Famer gets released from a classy organization. Everyone sees what's been happening with Antonio Brown. The Steelers were a good, classy organization, and Antonio Brown went off the deep end. It's very possible, very likely, that Earl's personal life has moved with him into his professional life. Instead of bringing frustration from work home, it's almost like he brought frustration from home to work. In the NFL, with the Baltimore Ravens, when everyone's playing assignment football and you're making plays freelancing, it's okay. But if you're not going to take the responsibility when you freelance, my bad, guys, that's on me. I thought I saw this. Then the guys have a problem, because you're not being accountable and you want to be a leader, or supposed to be a leader in this locker room. Even with the Chuck Clark situation, Earl posted on Instagram, but he removed the video of what happened at practice where he made the wrong decision, and the 6th round safety, Chuck Clark, is degrading the 1st round future Hall of Fame, All-Pro, Pro Bowl safety who has more status on the team. Just listening to that, it sounds like Earl is being more of the victim, because he left out that they got physical due to Earl swinging on him, but he also left out all of the other freelancing he's doing, all the people that he's rubbing the wrong way. I'm not sure what's going on with Earl Thomas. I'm not sure where Earl Thomas will land. A lot of people, like I said, assume it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I was thinking the Houston Texans. As a Colts fan, I would hate to see him go to the Texans, but he wants to be back in Texas where he's from. Houston would be a good move. Dallas would be the most obvious move, but he wants to be on a contender. If he wants to get back into a system where he doesn't have to communicate as much and he can just line up as a single high, San Francisco would be the perfect destination where he can realign back with his Legion of Boom mate, Richard Sherman, and they could give it to the Seahawks twice. Everyone knows he hates the Seahawks, how Pete Carroll did him with the infamous finger when he broke his leg. It's sad to see Earl go down this road. Sad to see this situation pan out the way that it is. You got to hope the best for him. He's still a phenomenal athlete. He's still a phenomenal football player. Like I said, he's one of the top 3, at the least 5 best free safeties in the game, even at his age. I could see Jerry Jones swinging on this, as Jerry has always found a way to get guys who want to be Cowboys to be Cowboys. Jerry Jones will find a way. He always seems to find a way. It's just how Jerry moves. So you got Earl Thomas released, the Cowboys as the obvious destination. That makes too much sense in this NFL world. I think Earl will humble himself to be a Cowboy. I think he'll fit well within the Dallas Cowboys organization, because that's a place where he wants to be. Dallas has one of the best rosters in the entire league. For the years coaching has been an issue. They have a new coach. We will see if it's the coaching is an issue now, or if it's just lack of execution on the player's part. But again, Earl Thomas, 10-year vet, 9 years with the Seattle Seahawks, first year with the Baltimore Ravens, has been released. He's yet to be picked up. Everyone expects it to be the Cowboys. 1 year, he got $22 million. Supposed to get $10 million guaranteed this year, but the Ravens, the way they released him, are expecting to attempt to recoup that. And of course, Earl will file a grievance. So we'll have to see where everything goes from here. But again, had to drop a little quick video, man. I'm out of here.
Okay, now. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Yeah. Let's speak on it. It's a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. Won't kick it on me and go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, D's corner. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Let's speak on it. It's a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. We don't kick it on and go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, D's corner, like, yeah.